On this day especially, we honor our nation's heroes. They're people like Waveland firefighter Brandon LaFontaine. Megan Gray tonight shows us what makes him South Mississippi strong.
Brandon's family jokes if he smells smoke, he's gone. But when he's not fighting fires, Brandon is enjoying time with his wife and adorable 3-year-old son, Kane. And they know more than anyone, Brandon was destined to be a first responder.
When somebody's having a bad day, we're called to make that day better and try to help the situation. My role really is, I'm behind the engine. I'm usually getting water supply, making sure my lieutenant needs help with anything, getting equipment, getting tools, gathering stuff, and then we go in, save a house, save a life, do whatever we got to do.
That's the job. Save lives, help people, and come home. It's what Brandon LaFontaine does best.
So it started off as a dream and a goal, and now I'm living the dream. And I love what I do.
He's been a Waveland firefighter for 5 years, but also volunteered long before that.
Brandon has a heart big as this station. He does exceptional work. You keep him on the reins every now and then. He's like my bull in the china shop. And but if you need it done, ask him and he'll go do it.
Just because I'm off doesn't mean I'm off. If it's happening, I'm going to be there.
In his short time with the fire department, Brandon has already been recognized not once, but twice for his efforts. Last year, he was honored as First Responder of the Year for his work in the community, teaching fire prevention. This year, it was his work delivering a baby that earned him the prestigious award.
To me, it's just plastic or glass, whatever it's made of. I do my job, and that's what I'm here to do. It's what I signed up for.
Like most young boys, Brandon grew up fantasizing about becoming a firefighter one day. But that dream almost didn't happen. When he was just 7 years old, Brandon was electrocuted. He and his younger brother were playing outside when it happened.
I remember cutting the cord, seeing it laying there, and I remember cutting it, hearing a pop, and then the buzzing sound that you do hear when electricity pops.
Brandon had accidentally cut an extension cord. He was still being shocked when his mother found him.
And when I got to him, he was gray. And his lips were purple, and he had like foam coming out of his mouth.
His mother, frantic, immediately dialed 911 while his uncle and grandmother performed CPR. Firefighters were there within minutes. Rusty Schultz was one of them. He was part of the team that rushed to save Brandon's life.
He did not have a pulse and required us to make pretty aggressive life-saving interventions.
To go up to him to see, it looked like I could just dive into his eyes. There was no life.
After blacking out, Brandon says he felt like he was floating. He says he remembers looking down on the ambulance and everyone working on him.
It was white. It was real comforting, real comforting, and I could hear something. I can hear a voice, and I don't. This is one part of my story I really don't talk about, and I probably need to share it more. And saying something, I remember something on the lines of, you got to go back. And I remember falling, and waking up in an ambulance.
I remember him opening his eyes in the ambulance because at that point we had to hold him down, and I was talking to him, holding him down, talking to him, just saying, man, we're at the hospital just a second, we got you.
Brandon got something many of us will never know, a second chance. And now he's using it to do exactly what those first responders did for him.
Ever since that day, it's just been something I've wanted to do, and I just want to strive to be the best.
This is the picture of Brandon receiving his award just a few weeks ago for First Responder of the Year. And what made the moment even sweeter, his hero turned mentor, Rusty Schultz, was by his side yet again, this time being honored alongside the young boy he saved more than 20 years ago.